Why don't you step down?
Any objection?
No.
Okay. Exhibit 38 is an email exchange between you and Adam Barrett, correct? Let's go to the bottom. Did you write this email to Mr. Barrett on March the 3rd, 2013?
Yes.
And what was the circumstance of your writing this to him?
He had just given birth to a baby.
He had given birth?
Well, it's been a tough day, Mr. Chapin. His wife had just given birth to a baby.
Okay. And what were you telling her?
Looks like I was just checking in.
And if you look here, it says you can take as much family time as you need. Right?
Yes.
Right. Did he ask to take some time off for the birth of his child?
No, he didn't ask. I mean, he obviously was on paternity leave, and we wanted to make sure that we supported him, even though he wanted to come in during the latter stages of the pregnancy. We wanted to make sure that he was ready. He had another child at home that was about 2 years old, if I believe, at the time.
You had no objection to him taking family leave?
No.
Exhibit 494.
Any objection? See what it is. What is it?
Your Honor, it's an email from Beth Burns to John David Wicker dated May 30th, 2012, and some follow-on emails by San Diego State regarding that email.
I just need to look at the second page, Your Honor. I think the second page of this exhibit was previously offered and objection was sustained based on hearsay.
I'll deal with it outside the presence of the jury. I'm not going to spend time now.
Okay. And Exhibit 537, any objection? 537.
Just a suggestion, just to move things along, this should have been done long before this. I mean, if he knows what's coming, we can deal with it rather than have the jury sitting here wondering what's going on.
I appreciate that, Your Honor. We've been moving pretty smoothly up until now.
Right. How much more do you have?
No objection.
I've got 3 emails, Your Honor.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Beth Burns to Bob Moosman, dated May 8, 2012, regarding a car for a coach. Recall that?
I'm reading it quickly, yes.
What were you seeking in this email?
To have a courtesy car provided
For whom?
for Aaron Grant,
Whose position was what?
a candidate for an assistant coach position.
And why were you asking for that?
Well,
Objection and relevant.
Sustained.
Did it have to do with this assistant coach's compensation, Coach Burns?
yes.
Objection and relevant.
Sustained.
Exhibit 524. This involves spreadsheet. Bring in standards.
It's 11 pages, though.
Your Honor, I can lay the foundation with her, and then we can take it up after.
That's not in front of the jury. What else do you have?
I've got one more email.
Go ahead.
Exhibit 535. Coach Burns, while you were at San Diego State in the 2012 time period, were you given any honors while you were there?
At San Diego State, yes.
Okay. Do you recall what it was?
I don't.
Does the Phi Kappa Phi
Oh, yes,
refresh your recollection?
it does. That was a
And-
great honor.
I'm sorry?
That was a great honor.
And what is Phi Kappa Phi?
It's a National Honor Society.
And were you admitted to membership in Phi Kappa Phi?
I was asked by the university. I was honored to be asked by the university and told that I would be inducted as a San Diego State member.
And that was in May of 2012?
It was.
Move and mission of Exhibit 535.
No objection.
Right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Do you know how much?
Just a few follow-ups, is that all right? Coach Burns, on the issue on the media guides,
Yes.
were there delays in media guides for other sports other than women's basketball?
Everything with media was done in conjunction, men's basketball, women's basketball, so that was why it was evident to me. I don't know what the other sports did in terms of basketball media guides.
Okay. So you don't know whether other sports at San Diego State had delay in getting their media guides as well?
I only knew relative to men's basketball.
And then let me ask you, on the banner issue, there was an email put up there where Ms. Bramer was writing to Mr. Oberhelman saying it's only another $400. Do you recall that?
Yes.
So she was advocating for your position, is that correct?
Yes, very much.
And it came down to a disagreement between you and Mr. Oberhelman, is that correct?
I think it would be fair to say Mr. Oberhelman and Ms. Bramer. She was supportive of the banner as well.
Correct, but at the end of the day, I think what you said, I'll read your deposition, page 534, line 19. Question, what did...
Just a minute, please, Mr. Newman.
There's no objections.
I need to look at what you're reading.
Okay.
Thank you.
Line 19.
She wants to make sure you're reading it properly.
I don't blame her.
Okay, I'm with you.
Okay. Question, what did Don say? Answer, Don said that San Diego State has a long and storied basketball history, and they are in the process of revamping all the banners in Via House Arena. So they honor the entire 80 to 100 years of San Diego State basketball. And that project is going to get on the ground soon. And he sees no reason to waste the money on that banner. And it was just one of those where you agree to disagree. I told him my point. I asked him if I could buy it personally. He said no, that was that. And again, you and Mr. Oberhelman had a good relationship, is that correct?
Yes,
Mr. Oberhelman had nothing to do with your being terminated, correct?
to the best of my knowledge, no.
And this all occurred about 4 years before your termination, is that correct? This back and forth on the banner?
Yeah, on the banners, yes.
And you were renewed twice in between the email chain on the banner and the time you were terminated. Your contract was extended twice, correct?
Yes.
And let's just go quick to, when you left, did you get COBRA benefits?
I'm sorry.
Did you get COBRA benefits?
No, I didn't sign up for that.
You didn't sign up for COBRA, okay.
No.
One thing I wanted to ask you about Jay Larson. You're not saying Jay Larson is a racist, are you?
Oh, by no stretch of the word, no, sir.
All right, and to the extent that any of these families who were calling you suggested that race was a basis or a motive for someone calling them, did you disabuse them of that?
Yeah. Yes, and that's why I called Mr. Stirk that night, because I felt they were upset, and I didn't know, I didn't agree with them, but they were upset, so I was asking his advice. What do I do the specific question to Mr. Stirk was, what do I do about our parents?
Okay. And then finally, on the targeted or special admit student,
Yes.
again, you and your staff recruited this student, is that correct?
Yes.
And then you said that Miss Evans and Mr. Larson wrote letters on her behalf to the university?
No, to the NCAA. The whoever the director of admissions or of academic services in the athletic department is the conduit with the admissions office. So you essentially don't want to waste anybody's time. So they're kind of the first screening of, no, this person won't be admissible, they will be. On a special admit, it's a different issue, and that's why Mr. Larson was brought in. The admissibility part was one thing with the university. The eligibility part was an NCAA component, and that they required the NCAA required letters both from the academic services who would serve the student and the compliance person who would rule on whether she could play or just practice and have to redshirt for a year.
Right. And so you were appreciative of them writing these letters to the NCAA to assist this student in getting admitted. Is that correct?
Yes.
And finally, on the media guide, am I correct that at some point in time the NCAA changed the rule so you could no longer give the media guides to students who are being recruited?
I believe 2010 was the drop dead on you could make them, but you cannot distribute them for recruits. You can use them for what their original use was for the people in the media, and really in our case it was for your kids, for their families, you just couldn't use it for recruits the way you used to.
Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.
Mr. Chairman, anything further?
Nothing further.
All right. Good time to take a break?
Fine with me.
All right. Let's take a 15-minute break, ladies and gentlemen. Don't talk about the case. We've got at 3 o'clock.